we are recording. And I'm going to go into the Remarcus app so that I can get that time code going that I mentioned. And those of you who have been here a while know what we're doing next. New folks, get your remotes ready. We're going to be pressing our play buttons at the same time on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And just some immediate lalas. Josie, do you want to do some lalas with us?
Her lalaing with us. Notice that she cut her hair, John?
Hair is short.
This is my favorite hair. I love the short hair.
I love short hair Rory, and I'm happy that Josie's already watching.
I actually don't like short hair Rory.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's a nice change.
But I like short hair on the ladies. I wonder if this was written first and then she got a haircut, or she got a haircut and they were like, all right, I guess we have to write this in.
How will they ever eat? Also, who takes it upon themselves to break into a house to put an alarm? Unless their back door is still unlocked or not working. Correct. I feel like door-like house is the easiest to break into. Oh yeah, definitely. I love the new intro.
Something that is interesting, this shot here, I just didn't realize, like, that's not our Luke's. That's
it's from the original pilot in Unionville.
just funny that they kept it. They kept it in, and it's like now it's like nowhere at all in the world of Star Solid.
I think it looks better from the outside than the other one, so it makes sense to me.
Hey, that's my name.
Shared card.
Shared card. Shared card. I have to say, I have rarely seen anyone with a shared card. I feel like Todd and I were the only people on the show that ever got a sheriff card.
No, ever since you brought it up, I've been noticing it. And there's quite a few people who get them.
What about Shelly and Teal?
Ooh,
I
don't
think
know
they were
particularly.
separate, bud.
Sherry says she believes that the ladies have had a share card before. She left her food.
I was about to say that.
Oh, is this where we're in the closet? Are we in the?
Well, you're gonna have to see and
Who
find out.
knows?
I'm the worst at spoiling.
Hello.
There you guys are.
Hello, John.
Oh my gosh. Did you notice that I said fourth time today? I think that I forgot the second half of the line.
Your shirts kind of match each other.
I love that sweater that I'm wearing.
That is a nice sweater, I will say that.
Is that a good Jimmy Stewart impression?
Kind of. I thought
Is this a safe space? Because I'm going to admit I don't know who he's talking about.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
The only reason why I ask is because I do a Marlon Brando impersonation, and Todd made fun of it. So I need to know, is that a good Jimmy Stewart impression? Because if it's not,
You're free to make fun of him either way, John.
all right.
I feel like we need to hear your Marlo impression now.
excuse me, you have to do off this show. Oh, I think we were talking over the dialogue where she names rock stars went to college, but I just wanted to flex my little bit of knowledge.
Yeah, we were.
Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine graduated with honors in political science from Harvard. That's all I wanted to add.
Did one of the Weezer?
Well, I don't
think so.
Weezer, so I wouldn't know.
That's a scruffy Dean. That Dean is scruffy. Got a scruff going on.
No, this is the Dean that I don't mind looking at.
For a wedding. This is like the best Dean.
This is the Dean I do not mind looking at. I think he's using mousse now. And he's got scruff.
He's got a little, just a very light little mustache. Tiny stash, we call it.
He's like 22 or something. He's like barely getting a mustache.
Looking like a bag boy.
That is the baggest boy I've seen yet.
This is more what he looked like in Supernatural.
Yeah, this is getting closer to that.
This was like a couple years before it started.
Yeah, it was
right?
like 3
Yeah,
years
like
ago.
right before.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Sherry says yes. Kumo went to Harvard. I'm assuming that's the guy from Weezer.
Ew.
Yeah, River.
Cuomo.
Yeah.
Gross.
And this is so complex because he seems now like he's so nervous around her that it tells me that he still has feelings for her, and yet he's struggling to keep and really does also genuinely want her to be at his wedding because of it. So it's just like a lot of feelings.
Well, think about it. Your ex-girlfriend is in town the weekend of your wedding. We're expecting her. I don't know. Maybe you'd be a little nervous.
What job number is this for Kirk?
Someone keeping a list.
10,000. Who knows?
It's the badge that's killing me.
I believe this is the only episode where my character and Sean's character are in the same scene. Like, I think.
I can think of another one in the future.
Yeah, same.
Really? Okay. There you go. I mean, even with the band, I'm completely lost. Suki is way more pregnant than she was in the last episode, so we've jumped ahead, or her belly has jumped ahead.
Who knows?
Love how Lorelai was like, well,
No suit.
Look at his hair.
Something tells me he hates this place. Yeah, I just kind of saw this coming. That was great.
Oh, the duet with Michelle.
No comment.
I agree with him.
It's interesting that this, by the way, that this dean is still a part of the series. It feels like that story arc could have been fully put to rest.
Yep. But in a small town, you always cross paths, so I think it's very important that he's still in the storyline in Star Hollow.
Taylor is starting to grate on me.
Taylor is one of my least favorite characters for a reason. Him and Emily can go off on and on together.
I love to hate him. So
Like, I mean, I love Michael Winters and I love his performance, but as a character, I'm starting to get a little annoyed.
Can I just say that I love Lorelai's shirt?
That's the point of the character, though, John. You have to have someone to hate.
I know.
But he's like a character
But
like
also,
you love to hate.
You like Stars Hollow wouldn't be Stars Hollow without a character like him.
This is completely random, but I've just realized that one of my favorite things ever in this episode.
I would love to eat that too.
I'm currently having chocolate right now. And I haven't even had breakfast yet.
The mayor is now completely gone. Like, no more mayor. Taylor's it.
Yeah.
Wasn't the mayor only in like the first couple episodes, or he was only in the very beginning, and then they wanted us to forget that there was a mayor?
I feel like he showed up again in season 2.
Yeah. It was the episode where Luke's uncle died.
Oh yeah, but did they call him the mayor, or was he just one of the reenactors?
This is really annoying.
Michelle, kick him out of his chair, please.
Funny reference.
I want to strangle too.
Uh-huh. The Manson family.
Does Michelle live in Stars Hollow? I don't think I've ever thought about that before.
I don't think he does.
I never thought he did. I always thought he lived like just in like the next town over, somewhere close.
Oh my god.
Gang.
Saucy.
You and your gang,
John.
That's
They're
right.
gang members.
Who were those other guys?
That's what I did.
Ask you if who those other people were.
Hey, it's Saturday there where it's Saturday here. That's cool.
Oh, here's the guy that you were mentioning, John, that you remember, I think.
One of my
Which means
favorite
that-
guest stars ever.
Schmidt.
This means we've got another Sunday wedding in the show.
Oh my gosh, that guy in the red, I don't remember his name, but I've seen
Matt
him.
Springfield. Yeah, it's Schmidt.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Schmidt.
He's from Veronica
I
Mars
know him
as
as
well.
Boo Boo from Bob's
as
Burgers.
quite a few other things. Veronica Mars and Ugly Betty and a lot of things.
Drunk acting.
What did he have, like 2?
Half a beer.
I don't think Dean's that much of a
Us
lightweight.
6.
I don't think he's that much of a lightweight.
Well, a case of beer between all of them isn't very many, even if it was like a 24-pack.
I remember from the read through, I remember that actor saying, "Come on, guys, respect the establishment."
Some point.
What did he say? Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared.
Golly, freaking Jared is so giant compared to him. That's hilarious.
He's what, like 15?
Oh no. Oh no, I know what he's gonna say.
And he fell asleep on
Can't even
Jessica's
sit on
bed.
the bed.
And he fell asleep on Jessica's.
Yikes.
I mean, or more. It's heartbreaking. Oh God. Ah,
Yeah, this
Yep.
is where
Frustrating.
Frustrating.
this guy.
Taylor, you're not historical. Let's kick you out.
I think that historical societies, though, are really, really strict about stuff. I remember a friend.
Oh yeah.
Isn't he technically historical since his entire family lives in Stars Hollow or something? I don't think he's gonna get kicked out that easily. Literally small town politics.
Interesting. I actually now like him a little bit more based on that.
Oh, come on.
Yes, I do. I'll tell you afterwards.
You're gonna have to explain your reasoning on that one.
Yeah, because we don't understand that.
Well, now it makes
Does he have
sense. The
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
why is because now it makes sense. Before it was just sort of like a control thing that he just needs to like, you know, be so in control that he makes people's lives miserable. But now I get it. It ties together with something.
She's on her way to fix it now.
I can't explain it, but this is one of my favorite things ever, and I don't know why.
He had no idea.
Luke is so amused with her right now.
I see why you like this scene so much.
I just love the whole thing.
How many bloopers are in this scene?
The snap. Yeah, that scene was great. Every bit of it.
I don't like the suicide jokes in it. Everything else is great, but I don't like people doing that.
The hanging from the tree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something as a therapist and
A little much.
suicide prevention.
Yeah.
I would people doing that because nobody knows at which moment it's true. So yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
When she said it, I felt the same way. But I feel like that's also another sign of the times.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
sure.
Gets better. Still, people still do it, but I hope it gets less and less.
That cup is way fuller when you picked it up than when it was on the table when you poured it.
From fighting in the street to this.
Oof. We'll definitely be talking about this.
Yep.
Oh, that's what those people were. Probably just people auditioning for the band.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
were
right.
They were a part of the gang. Gang initiation.
Yeah, they definitely were auditioning. I remember now.
Awkward.
That explains a lot. That's sweet.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, that was
One
so
of my
cute.
fave scenes.
Yeah, Kirk is a kind soul. He's sometimes weird, but he's such a kind soul.
Just the saying thank you for the kiss. Adorable.
Not really a mystery.
No, no mystery at all.
Not a mystery, but also like,
Oh,
I love Kirk following them. It's my favorite.
also I feel like her not going to the wedding could cause more problems. Well, could cause more narrative.
this is a cute scene.
Yes, but he shouldn't be there, especially for Lindsay. It's not fair at all.
I love that thought.
That shot was better, Michelle. Stay in the front. It looked better. That is a ginormous cake.
I love the episodes where the town is decorated for something.
Ugh.
Oh, Rory, wipe that look off your face.
Why? Why should she wipe that look off her face? Let's
I
talk
can't
about.
say.
Let's talk about that.
Can't say.
Um,
That spoiler
so-
spilled.
hold on. Let's get some folks up here on the couch. This episode was real good.
So every time I did a shush, I wasn't spoiling anything. So
Oh,
No,
no,
I
I was
didn't
saying, talking about how that would be a spoiler is a spoiler. So just
yeah,
Um, No, it's good. We're good. I mean, I can kind of feel where this is all going.
honestly, I really doubt that.
I
Because
kind
I
of
don't like the storyline. I don't like that. they're
Never
married off
underestimate John, whoever said that.
Come on, this thing.
I mean, I'm feeling like there's some residual feelings from Rory. Like how mature those feelings are, I don't really totally know. Well, is it are the feelings partly like feelings of jealousy? Are they feeling like I'm alone right now, and so and I'm seeing two people together, and one of them is my ex-boyfriend, and I kind of, because of that, kind of wish that I was in that place. Like I don't really know exactly what it is, but I feel like there's something still there. they wouldn't continue, like, there's just no need for the Dean character anymore unless we still got more with that character. And
Yeah,
with,
why didn't they
and
send him
with-
off to college?
Yeah, and with Rory, like, there's something there, and I mean, I gotta say, I'm excited for it.
We
I
can
think-
take it. Oh, God. I think it was her first boyfriend, so it's natural to feel kind of awkward seeing him getting married at such a young age. So I think at this moment, we really don't know if it's more like, oh, I would love to be in like Lindsay's space, or if it's just, oh, that's my first boyfriend, and he's really gone now forever. So I think it's natural for her to have a look like this in such a situation. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter if she's still in love or not.
Oh yeah,
get-
I had an ex-boyfriend that got married, like maybe I think it was like a year or so after we broke up, and even that long after, it was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, I just feel like it was a little bit more than just that's weird. I felt like there was, and I agree with you, Claudia. That's, you know, what like I'm probably thinking that that's what it is as well. But it doesn't feel like the storyline has been ended because we had that scene with Dean, you know, drunk in Luke's apartment. So we know something more that she doesn't know. Like, that's kind of the important part about that, right? Like, we as an audience have information that another character doesn't know. That tells you that there's more of the story to come. And so when you couple that with the final look of Rory from that scene, it tells me that whatever feelings are going on there with Rory at the very end are going to be important for more story to come between those two characters.
All right, next topic.
When
I know Diana tried to jump in earlier.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with Claudia. I think we can take it at face value to a point too, because you know she's off at college. She's home for like a weekend, you know, so she, like, her life has moved on, and there's a certain sadness to that, right? Like, on top of the Dean stuff, there's like, you know, she's sort of out, like, she's watching the wedding from the outside. She's on the outside a little bit because her life is moving in a different direction, and he's stayed there. And I don't know. I think it's just generally sad, but I know the writing is purposeful, and it makes sense in that way. But I also think you can take it at face value that she's just like, she's moved on, and so has he, and it's sad.
It is, but remembering back to when you saw this for the first time, did you, and this is a question for the whole couch, did you feel like this was a closed arc, or did you feel like there was still something open and ready, and that we had more to come?
Oh, it's open like a book.
I actually thought it was closed. I thought this was them closing Dean, and just like a statement that sometimes, you know, our decisions let us down and we just had to move on. So that last scene of her face was, when I first saw it, was me saying, okay, she's learning that this is over and she's got to go in a different direction now.
Yeah, I agree
with that.
And I also agree that you can take it at face value. Like I said, I agree with Claudia. It's when I couple it with the fact that information was revealed that another character doesn't know, that's the part that feels like there's more. You know, because that puts a little bit of narrative tension in me. Like, it makes me want to make sure that is somehow resolved in some way.
Yeah. See, I think it could have ended when he said he got into college. Like, that would have been a perfectly acceptable way to like have them split ways. She was going to Yale, he got into college. Like, it was like a resolution to like what he would be doing with his future, and she was going to do hers. And I think that would have been a good ending had they chosen that part.
Shirley's been flashing.
Shelley?
I just thought that I would think that she was maybe a little bit regretful just because of her decision to break up with him and move on to Jess, because Jess obviously wasn't a good pairing for her, and she probably thinks, oh, maybe he wouldn't be jumping into marriage right away, but at least, I don't know, maybe that she...
And by good pairing, we mean, of course, that they didn't stay together.
Yeah, and
we keep forgetting that Dean broke up with her, though.
Yeah,
well, she kind of forced it, though.
Yeah, I know that's a big question that has a bit of contention within the fandom. I've noticed that, like, there are certain folks that feel like she broke up with him, that he broke up with her verbally, but that really she broke up with him because what he was doing was essentially admitting to a breakup that she was already forcing, or to a degree already sort of made happen. I'm on that. I'm on that side. I think
Goes
that
back to friends.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was just about to say that, very friends-like.
Either way, I love Dean and Lindsay, and it was cute. That cake was ginormous, but Dean and Lindsay, I love.
Who just puked?
That was Tasha, and I would say Rory agrees. I remember in season 3, she was saying how much she disapproved of that marriage, and they got a big fight about that.
I think they're cute together too, because if you see them like smiling, really being happy together, I think they kind of fit together at this moment, as much as we know about both of them.
I agree.
I think that they're great together, except now I know that he's still in love with Rory, and my sense is that he's not really in love with his wife.
Yeah, but you can grow like in love if Rory, at this moment, if Rory just stays away from him, it can be really good between of them, because he decided Rory is gone, he needs to move on, and if he really put all the energy in this marriage, it would be really good.
I agree.
Weird.
I need to move on by getting married, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just, there's something a little weird about I'm getting married to somebody that I'm not in love with, but we could grow to love each other. I mean, I guess that happens. I guess that happens in plenty of places in the world. It's just I guess Western culture has ingrained in us that you're in love before you get married.
Amy's been flashing.
Amy.
I was going to say, by him getting married, it almost makes it permanent in his mind that him and Rory aren't a thing. Rory's gone, like, off to Yale. And by him getting married, I think in his mind, yes, it was young and it was just, like, quick. But it almost sealed it in his mind, I think. Despite the fact he still loved her, but, like, I'm going to get married, and that's the end of that chapter.
Like, is marriage for Dean basically kind of the same as, like, university for Rory?
I think so, but that's what
that's
life goals. If you go back to the Donna Reed, and he was really appealed to him, then that was his values. That's what he wanted.
I think he was grown up in a family where it was expected of him to marry perhaps young, and that's what he did. He probably would have asked Rory, but she was gone, so he asked the next girl. I think it fits probably in his family history, and he didn't think as much about it as we do now, 20 years later, as it is more normal to marry much later.
Sabrina?
Yeah, I think when we were talking about sort of marrying for love versus, what you said, John, about how in Western culture that's kind of the expectation, I think that there's nothing wrong with necessarily having like an arranged marriage or, having the expectation that you could grow into the marriage. But the problem is the expectation was really uneven, because I think Lindsay is like, this is my fairy tale, like Prince Charming, and we're going to live happily ever after, and we're so in love. And I think as much as Dean wants to like probably think that he is that for Lindsay, he's not being honest with himself. And I think deep down, like, being in love with someone else, that doesn't work if both people are not on the same page. I think that in some cases it can work if you feel that marriage is like more of like a sort of traditional, like a cultural obligation in that sense. Like that's happened all throughout history, but I think that where people get into trouble is like one person has one expectation and the other expects something completely different.
Yeah, totally. And I think that also speaks to my feelings about how this storyline doesn't feel like it's closed, because I just don't feel like that's a good place to close this Dean storyline, just to sort of end on such a dismal note for the character, because that is true. I mean, I want to know what happens with Lindsay now. Like, I'm kind of invested, even just from hearing what you say that, I'm kind of now invested a little bit in Lindsay's character. I want to know what's going to happen for her in this marriage, you know, given the fact that, yeah, she does see this as like a fairy tale, and we know that he doesn't. And he doesn't specifically as it relates to another character in the show.
I see teeth flashing down there.
I'm curious how many people, if they were in Luke's position the morning after, who would have talked to Dean, or why would you not talk to Dean about like the night before and everything like that? Like, what would your approach be with that?
Oh, can I answer that really quick?
Same question. Oh my God.
Can I answer? I think it would have been way too difficult for Luke at that point. I mean, his wedding is happening in like an hour or so, right? Like, everything is set up on that lawn. I mean, as much as it seems like it should be the thing that he talks to him about, and that, you know, like, I can't imagine being able to do it. I can't imagine somebody else being able to do it.
I could talk to Rory about it, but I couldn't talk to Dean about it.
He did caution Claudia flashing.
Well, I think Nikki was next because she had been flashing for a while.
Yeah.
And then Tasha.
Yeah, I think the other thing we have to remember too is, you know, when the breakup of Rory and Dean happened, at that time, the plan was still Harvard. And I think that is important here, because when Dean moved on to Lindsay, I think in his head, Rory was going to be gone to Harvard. She was going to be away. There was no way that she was going to be dropping in in Stars Hollow at weekends all the time, just because of the distance. And I think that he probably was factoring that into, you know, his decision. Okay, this isn't working out. Rory's going to Harvard. She's going to have a different life. Like, this is my life here. I need to move on. And then her going to Yale is kind of throwing a wrench into things, because you really see that when he sees her on the street and he's like, oh God, like, she's here. She's not supposed to be here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Tasha.
I think, and I mean, this is my opinion, but I feel like I've seen a lot, and living in Utah is a perfect example, where people will meet and they'll date for a very short amount of time, and they'll get engaged and they'll get married. And sometimes it works. I have people in my life who got married super young and super quick, and they've been married for like 5-6 years. So it can work. But I feel like in Dean's case, him and Lindsay, I mean, we don't really know how long they were together before they got married, but I feel like honestly, Dean in a way was like settling, because he clearly, from him being drunk and passing out in Luke's apartment, we have a good indication that he's not over Rory, and him kind of interrupting Luke the morning after, where Luke was trying to mention what Dean drunkenly said the night before. He intentionally was trying to interrupt him because he probably had a feeling of what he said, and he was like, I have to get my tux. The wedding's in an hour type thing. And I don't know, I feel like he was kind of settling, and he was doing what his parents thought he wanted him to do. And
if you were Luke, then you would not because of the timeline. Is that what you're saying?
What?
So if you were Luke, you would not say anything because of the timeline. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Luke was trying to tell him what he
said the night before, but Dean was intentionally interrupting him because he had his wedding, obviously, and he probably didn't want to talk about it because, I mean, I don't know what kind of drunk Dean is. I don't know if he can remember the night before. I certainly can, but I don't know, maybe he had a feeling of what he said and didn't want to get into it and just wanted to go. And I don't know, like maybe he didn't want to, but he kind of needed to because he had no other choice. And I don't know.
You
He always has a
Paris.
choice.
I think
You're right, though, Tasha.
I think it was because of the timeline, T. Like, I think that had the timeline been different, I think you would have told him. I also think that he doesn't remember what he said the night before. Maybe he thinks that he embarrassed himself, but he strikes me as a forgetful drunk. Like that drunk struck me as forgetful drunk.
For me, Luke is the adult and probably the only adult who knows about Dean's feeling, and I think he should have said something. It was, after all, his wedding. It was not something he should say, or he could say a month after or a year after. It was a last chance to tell him, hey, Dean, are you really sure you want to marry? I heard something like in your subconscious while you were drunk. I think you should have told him. It was like, it was about two other women. It was about Rory, it was about Lindsay, and it wasn't fair to not talk about it. It really annoys me a lot every time.
I see it differently. I think that Luke probably would have assumed that Dean may not have remembered that, and that it's possible that him saying so or him telling Dean that would do nothing more than just ruin a wedding day that he was not going to back out of anyway.
Yep, I agree.
I think that, I don't know that he had enough fear between, like, I think it was Shelley in the episode that was saying, like, between the six of them, even if they had like a 24 pack, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he had a state of a blackout drunk. I think that if he did not remember anything, or the reason for him saying he didn't remember anything was more to save face, because it's probably embarrassing.
What if they drink more than just beer? Because we don't know.
I know.
I think it's a case of I think it's a case of Luke was the wrong person. Like, I think that somebody should have said something to him. It's hard to know how close he was with his friends because we don't really see them in the show. But I mean, like, Kyle was sober and heard him mention Rory. So, like, to me, Luke was not the right person to say something because they just don't have that type of relationship. But somebody that was closer to him, I think they should have said something.
Yeah, I think it's not. Luke thought it wasn't probably his business. He might have wanted to, but it's not really his. And he didn't really care for Dean anyway, and so he's not going to try to get Dean to, go back with Rory. So I don't know.
I just think Dean shouldn't have married Lindsay because Dean knew exactly how he felt about Rory long before this all happened. I mean, he never got over her. He's marrying another girl. That's what I personally think. But it's why I don't really like the storyline in the show. I just don't get why the writers had to go that direction unless they just wanted to create some other kind of weirdness. They could have done a lot of other things with his character. It's just kind of strange because, like, in real life, if somebody was that into somebody else, why would they marry someone else just because? I get people do it. It's not right.
People definitely do it. They get into relationships with others while they still are in love with somebody else. That happens all the time. And so marriage, I think, which is one step, well, big step, but, one step further from that has to happen enough. I don't know. I also, I'm not sure exactly how much that character, I mean, he's big, but I don't know how much that character needs to drink to get to. And I also blackout drunk is not necessarily forgetful drunk. Blackout, like, I think that he, first of all, was saying it as he was falling asleep. Like that was like, it seemed like it was the last thing that he was saying, like as he was dozing off. So that might be part of, you know, the inability to remember it. But I just think in general, it's really hard. Just the only thing that I feel, I agree that somebody should have told Dean about all of this, but I just think that it's a lot harder than, it's easier to say, it's easier said than done, telling somebody on their wedding day, knowing that there's more people who are going to be affected by what you're about to say to this person than just the person themselves, like an entire family, Lindsay, everything. Easier said than done, you know, that to say something that could potentially destroy the entire day.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even start that?
Yeah, and Luke doesn't like drama. He doesn't like all these type of confrontations. So,
Well, he also, like, when he brings up anything important to Rory, he always gets kind of squirrely and nervous. So I don't think he would have been able to talk to Dean about it. But I do question whether or not he was able to remember it, because, I mean, he did wake up and say that he didn't remember where he was until he looked out the window. But he changed the subject super abruptly whenever Luke started. It was almost like he cut him off.
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah, I agree with Tasha on that. He like cut him off really abruptly. So I don't know, like to me it feels like he may have known that he said something. Maybe not exactly what, but he may have known that he said something.
Okay, so I'm reflecting on Luke and his reasons right now, and I'm recalling the fact that Luke is in the exact same position. He's in love with Lorelai, and he is having a relationship with.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, true,
and so if he was thinking along his own parallel, he knows he's in love with Lorelai. He knows that he wants her, but he also knows that they're not going to have a relationship. So he's moving on. So he might be looking at Dean and thinking the same thing, that Dean's doing the same thing. He's in love with Rory, but he knows he's not going to be able to be with Rory. So there's no point in talking to him because, according to Luke, Dean must be already aware.
I mean, Luke did literally get married to someone else he wasn't really in love with, so he can't really.
Yeah, but they're divorcing
say
now.
anything.
Well, that's where I'm saying I feel like there's more to this story, because I'm already feeling a divorce coming for Lindsay and Dean-ish. I don't know. I mean, that might be completely off. Like, but I just feel like we've got more to this. This is just too. I mean, look how long we're talking about it. You know, that's testament to, you know, to the power of that particular storyline and what happened here. It doesn't feel like it's just ready to be ended, this arc.
Oh, just wait, John.
Can I say something real quick? It's actually kind of funny. I just got my best friend into the show, and I'm trying to get her caught up to where we are. And she reminds me so much of you, John, because she keeps sending me text, and she's like, does this happen? And then she'll send me a text 2 seconds later, like, wait, I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's me. That's me, but you know, that's the fun of me, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't affect your viewing of it.
But it's so funny because she's like very wishy-washy about it. She's like, tell me what happens, and then she's like, no, wait, don't tell me, I don't want to know.
Yeah, she's more. What she's really more doing is she's saying, I think I know what happens, but don't tell me. That's really more what she's
saying. I got a question.
Go ahead, whoever's
I got a question. John.
Yeah.
You said you didn't know who those guys were in the background there at during that church scene and the band scene in front of Lorelai's garage.
Yeah, well, those are people that were auditioning for the band.
Right. But there is a long-haired freaky person standing in the back.
Okay.
And there have been some rumors that was actually Sebastian.
No, that's not Sebastian. Like 100%, 150%, that's not Sebastian.
Could be like his cousin or something, but it's definitely not.
It's not Sebastian. Sebastian.
I'm sorry I was impromptu. I'm sorry that I was impromptu, but I was continuously pushing my button and everybody else was impromptuing.
And then I just finally just said, well,
No worries about that. That's totally cool. If you can jump in, you're always free to do so. That's definitely not Sebastian Bach. Sebastian, his first episode, the first time that I ever met him was Festival of Living Art, which is going to be on Tuesday of this week. Before that,
right.
the most that I heard was the band's going to be getting an 80s rocker. Like, that's all I knew.
Right. All right. Thank you.
So, John, how cozy was it in that closet with Todd?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Did you have your deodorant on?
No, I feel like, you know, we had the door open and like we just only closed it right at the beginning of their scene. But did you notice that I had there was a tiny pause in my sentence? Did anybody notice that?
Not until you pointed it
Yes.
out.
Did you forget a line, John?
I'm sure I forgot a line.
I think I interpreted John as like you were like hot and lightheaded, and so like you had like started
good.
to speak,
Great
and
interpretation.
then you were like,
well, I mean,
I'm spaced out.
There's no question in my mind we did that shot maybe like at least 5 times, if not 10. So of all of those times, you know, there's like a roll of the dice that one of them you're gonna like tongue twist your line, you're gonna suddenly like have a brain fart and not remember the second half of your line, and I think that's what happened there, because it doesn't seem like how I would say that line. I can't say for sure, but it doesn't feel natural, which means that likely I was praying, just absolutely praying that they didn't use that take. But the problem, of course, being that I knew that there were so many other parts of that particular take that would be more important than that line, because there's an entire scene with Rory and Lane. And so when they're weighing those, whatever, 5 to 10 takes and figuring out which one's the best one, my one little line is probably going to be like at the bottom of the list of was this a perfect take, you know, whereas Alexis and Lane, one of them might have tongue twisted a line in another shot, or you know, or not didn't go well, and this particular take might have been the best for them. Well, great, that's the one that we use. Yeah.
Or they liked it. Or they actually liked the little.
Or they thought that it was something that I was doing for the character. It doesn't strike me as natural, but who knows? Maybe I was doing something there. But it jumped out at me like on this as something that I wouldn't have. It jumped out at me as a line reading of that I don't think John Cabrera would have naturally done. It sounds to me like I, for a split second, was like, wait, what's the rest of this line? It's not a big deal. It still works, but it's just a little quirk. Hey, I'm giving you the insides, you know, the actor's journey.
Samantha's been flashing.
Samantha.
Hi, John. Hi, girls. So, John, when you wondered if Alexis cut her hair short and they wrote it into the script or vice versa, allegedly, main actors on the WB shows had to sign a clause on their contracts to prevent them from changing their haircut without asking permission first. And this was after Kerry Russell cut her iconic curls very short during a Felicity hiatus. And apparently, Joshua Jackson shaved his head between season 3 and season 4 of Dawson's Creek as an act of rebellion to that clause. So I'm not sure if it's all true or just a urban legend, though.
Interesting. That's very interesting. So then I would say that then I would just change my question then to whether they wrote that into the script, the idea of, you know, first year college student kind of, you know, exploring who they are as a person, decides to get a cut, and they were like, this makes sense for the character. Or if Alexis came to them, was like, I'd really love to cut my hair, and they were like, well, you know, that works, let's just write that in. So I'm wondering that. I will say, you know, Sean was like he was like the king of changing his hair. Like he loved to shave his head, and you know, right now he's got this crazy mullet type thing going on. I'm wondering whether he asked them about changing his hair.
I mean,
His hair
in
in
your
your
character.
is incredible. Like,
Yeah, his
I
hair is
think-
incredible. Although I think some people are kind of like, "Whoa, dude."
Well, if we take it back, like way, way back. So, little side note. So, Michael Gandolfi, who was in here a few days ago, his bio said he wrote on the show Roseanne, which is probably one of my all-time favorite TV shows and very much a comfort TV show. There was an actress on that who played Becky, the first one, and she really wanted to cut her hair, but obviously that whole thing of like, you sign a contract, you can't do your hair, blah, blah, blah. And she went to Roseanne saying like, I really want to cut my hair, but they won't let me. And so Roseanne took some shears and just chopped Lisi's hair and said, okay, your hair's cut. So, I mean, sometimes you have permission, sometimes
Sounds
you
sounds normal. Sounds like a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't put it past the writers or like costume and all the creators to like cut her hair, because it makes her look a lot like older. Like she looks more college age. Like with her longer hair, she looked a lot younger, which was really good because she was supposed to play a lot younger than she was. But having this like really short haircut, which it looks amazing, it makes her look, you know, the age she's supposed to look. Like she's in college, like she's, you know, almost 19, like going through almost into her 20s. But she doesn't look like she's like this little teenager anymore, which I think I wouldn't put it past like the creators to do something like that, because it works well. Like Rory with long hair in Yale, like the first episodes, like I think they probably were like, yeah, she looks so young. And then the whole thing where she wants her mom to be there, it was like this level of immaturity. And then we go straight to this episode, her mom isn't there with her anymore. She's going to her mom's house with the short hair. It's like she's moved on and she's like moving up kind of thing.
I think that I felt like the Paris character felt like really aged. Like I felt like she went from 16 years old to 25.
They had her hair too.
You know, I mean, I just in general, the tone of the character felt like way more mature. I love Rory's hair short. I mean, like I said, I really like short hair. But I could have waited another year. I feel like freshman year, or I don't know, you call it freshman year, first year of university, I think that it's still a little bit like, well, you know what? No, maybe not. Maybe it's that first year that everyone is trying to be older all of a sudden.
I cut my hair really short when I went to college. I had really long hair.
You know
Now
what?
I have really long
I take
hair.
it back.
Last
Yeah.
decade, but my 20s, I kept my hair pretty short.
No, I take it back now that like that the idea that a high school student goes to college in their first year, they're doing everything they can to feel older and more mature, makes
like
more sense.
independent.
Yeah, that actually tracks a little bit better.
I cut my hair twice a year, so I mean, depends on what it is. But I saw that Amy and Claudia were flashing as well.
Amy. Claudia.
I think if you go to your first year university like Rory did, you mature a lot than before. Before she was in that small town, everyone was looking out for her, and at Yale she was finally doing stuff for herself. So I think it makes sense that she looks much older than before. So I think it's natural.
Can we talk about Taylor?
Yeah. So I only have, by the way, a few minutes, and then I really have to get going because we have guests coming. But I just want to say really quickly that my reasoning for why I'm more okay with finding out that it's all about I need my ice cream truck and I'm using you in order to get it. Like, I know that seems manipulative, but it makes more sense to me than I'm just generally a person who kind of enjoys making everyone's life a lot harder. For whatever reason, the former just works for me better. Otherwise, he's just insufferable.
He's a town man.
Don't lose your words.
So I mean, and by the way, isn't that to a degree how you feel, Mary, about Emily?
Yes, absolutely. Then it just flows that you're like, he's just insufferable.
Yes, he is. That's why I was like, oh my God, this character is starting to drive me nuts. Even though I know you're supposed to love to hate him, I don't know if I can keep dealing with the guy who's constantly just, that's his nature and that's how he feels comfortable, just constantly making sure everyone is having a hard time. It was just really bugging me. And then when he was like, I want an ice cream truck, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, now I feel a little bit better about the character.
It's
But you're absolutely right. That's how I see Emily. Emily's every move is for something that she wants at some point later. So yes.
No, I was going to say the opposite. I thought that you were saying that, like, you know, that Emily bothers you, not about like she's doing it for something, but that she's doing it because she just wants control. And that's how I felt about Taylor. But that I guess that's the reason why it doesn't bother me. A lot of Emily doesn't bother me because I know that Emily wants something. And so just the wanting of something, I'm like, okay, well, she has a bad way of trying to get it. It would bother me way more if I thought that Emily just enjoys controlling people, which is what I thought you felt about Emily, that she just enjoys.
But it's both. She
I don't.
enjoys controlling people because that gives her something in the end.
I don't think she just enjoys controlling people. I think that there's always something that she's trying to get, which with Taylor, I thought throughout this whole episode that there was nothing he really wanted except I just like it. I just like to control. I can't help it. I just like it.
I just want to say I agree with Mary about Emily.
I feel like I interrupted Emma before. I'm sorry.
I'm just making folks moderators because I'm gonna have to get going here in a minute.
I'm gonna bounce like Tigger, but I'll see you guys tonight.
See you later.
We're off tomorrow, right?
I just want to say happy birthday. Oh, geez, motorcycle going by. Want to say happy birthday to Mary while everybody's still in the room.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday.
Why is it my birthday?
We're off
Why is
tomorrow, right?
Is it your birthday, Mary?
No, my birthday's in March. Why are we?
Oh, that's weird. That's what I thought.
It's the other Mary. It's Mary.
I thought it was, maybe it's the other Mary. I saw her on Facebook and I thought, well, your
It's
profile
Mary,
picture is a puppy, so I thought it's the same Mary as on Facebook that said today was her birthday.
Oh, Mary. Then
no, but thank
our
you for
Mary.
the wishes.
But Mary, happy birthday for your birthday that's in March.
But when in March is your birthday?
My birth. I have two birthdays. I'm like the queen. I have two birthdays. I have an official birthday.
Okay,
and
your
my real
actual birthday.
I was born March 3rd. But my real birthday is March 5th. My official birthday is March 5th.
All right, everyone. I'm gonna have to jump. This was fun. This was a good episode. This was higher up the list for me.
We're off tomorrow, right?
We are off tomorrow, Father's Day. I'm going to be fathering it up.
I'm gonna
Happy
be
Father's
Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy first Father's Day, John.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time.
I will.
I'm gonna be sleeping in.
I will. We have some fun stuff planned. And then we're back on Monday for episode 5. Oh no, sorry, for episode, because we're back tonight, by the way. At 7, and that's for episode 5, and then on Monday we're episode 6. I have not put guests into the app yet, just because I haven't had time, but I thought about it, and I'm gonna just put all guests that we have. Everybody that I know is confirmed is going to be in the app. I just need to find a few minutes in the next day to put it all in there. But it looks, I believe that we have Rini on Monday for
That's cool.
for her episode, for her first appearance. I think so. I have to reconfirm with her. On Festival of Living Art, we're going to have Brenda Maben, costume designer, Valerie, costumer, and Melanie Romero, makeup artist, and
Nice.
and then Mike is going to also be joining us that day. I'm going to be dropping a memento on that day. Oh goodness, we've got Sean is going to be coming back on the finale, Raincoats and Recipes.
I thought you said Sebastian Bach was going to be on there, and I almost lost my.
No, Sebastian Bach is not. I mean, like I said, unless we all pitched in for like 40 of his cameos. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that. We are not going to do that. And Todd is going to be here he's going to join us on our marathon weekend for episode 11. Shelly is going to be joining us for episode 17 for her the boys in bikini, or girls in bikinis, boys doing the twist. We've got a bunch coming up. I'm going to put it all into the app.
John, are you okay with us like sharing that, or do you want us to
We're totally okay sharing that. I'm going to start to try and share it as well. I would like all of this buzz around all of our guests to help us grow the community. So any help that I can get from all of you in that regard is greatly appreciated. Not just by me, but by the rest of our community.
I'll put it on tweets in Twitter.
Yeah, and then I will say that for the Cast Scratch Memento, which is going to be dropped in the morning of Saturday the 26th, our marathon weekend, it is a passphrase made up of 4 words. I'll see all of you tonight, or some of you tonight.
I'll see you next weekend.
I have one question, John, before you go to for the weekend with the 3 episodes after each other. Is there really one episode and then the talk and then another episode? Because it's a lot of time. Okay.
Yes, it is, because we're going to kind of treat we're going to treat those weekends really more like a festival. So it's going to be kind of a lot of like coming and going. People might come a little later, they might leave, come back, so it's going to have that feel. Also, because of Sean and just working with his schedule, our finale on July 2nd is going to be at 7 p.m. and our penultimate episode is going to be at 5:30 p.m. that day. So we're going to do 5:30, a talk, and then 7 p.m. Before I said we were going to go right into the next episode. That is no longer the case. Sean's will start at 7.
Wait, so
clear the couch,
right?
And we will and I will clear the couch. Correct.
Okay.
All right. I'm off.
Thanks, John. Have a good day.
Bye, John.
Thanks,
John. Talk to you later.
Later.